Perfect. So, hi, Zach. So today we are going to talk about, to have a little demo on how to install the GitLab Runner Operator on a Kubernetes cluster. So I kind of have 2 slides to kind of help us when we will be going through. So what we will cover today is how to install the operator on a Kubernetes cluster, a vanilla one. Then we will talk about how to customize the configuration when installing the operator. And in the example I will use, I will be setting a termination grace period second. So we can see how it's taking in consideration on the runner, which is then created. And I also add some useful links, which are the how-to I will be myself following during this demo. And I want to thank Georgi because he's the one who makes sure that the how-to is available, and I believe it's really well written. So if we go back, the first link we will be using is on doc.gitlab.com, runner install operator HTML install on Kubernetes. During the demo, I'm using a GTA cluster set on GCP. So I made sure to have everything already set up, so we won't have to wait the creation and all those things while we are presenting. So the prerequisite is Kubernetes version 1.21 and the certification manager. Why do we need the certification manager? Because it actually helps to handle all the things related to the certificates the operator will use to create the manager and the runner. Without it, the installation just fails. So if it's really mandatory to have it already installed. When we open the Operator Hub IO website, there is the documentation already existing here, which we say exactly what I was saying about the prerequisites. And we have a simple command to install this specific version of the certificate manager. During the demo, I'm using 2 terminals, one to type my comment, and the second one will be mostly a key 9s to see the results on the cluster. So we can see exactly what is happening. So as it's written in the documentation, the first step is to install the certification manager. So I just copy paste the command from the operator website and just install it. So it will take some time. Okay, just in case the user has a script to have all those things automated, it's really mandatory to make sure that everything is installed, or the operator just won't work. Everything needs to be installed or it just won't work. So that was the first step, to install the certificate manager. And then, as it's written here in the documentation, we will select install still on the operator website and follow the instruction to install the OLM and the operator. So I come back to the operator website, I click on install, and here again, I have the command to install the operator lifecycle manager, just right here. So once again, I will copy and just install it here.
While that's downloading, Romeo,
yes.
I noticed that there are 3 cert manager pods. So is that what we always get when we install cert manager?
Yes. One is about the certificate injector. One is about the webhook. And the other one, I believe, is the manager or the set manager. For what I've understood, I can be wrong, so don't take it 100% for true. But the webhook is mostly used when during the installation of the operator, the user explicitly enables the webhook. The operator can be installed on two modes, with the webhook enabled or the webhook not enabled. In our case, I think by default it's disabled. So I don't think this one is actually used, but the certificate injector is used instead to create the certificate and make them used by yes, by the
Gotcha.
operator. So
Okay.
here now, yeah, go ahead.
So I see maybe a little background info on OLM as well.
Yeah, the OLM for this one, I'm not 100% sure because during my test, I didn't really interact a lot with it. But for what the main advantage I found with it, so I will just talk about this one, is with it, it allows us to have the operator installed on a namespace and being able to handle a runner instance on another namespace. That was personally the main advantage I had with it, because when you take it out, let's say you install the operator, by default, it will be installed on GitLab Runner System namespace. And everything you have to do need to be done in the GitLab Runner System namespace. You cannot do anything else outside of this namespace. And the operator lifecycle manager actually helped during the implementation of, during the support of the operator on the vanilla cluster. It actually helped us to be able to handle the ability to have the manager installed and still be able to launch a runner instance, let's say on the default namespace without having the process failing all the time. Probably it has other use, but I didn't have time to go deeper than that.
No, thank you.
Perfect. My pleasure. So then just now we install the operator lifecycle manager. And now we will go ahead and just install the runner operator itself. So I go back to the terminal. Just one thing, as you may have, if I can zoom in. Yep, no, cannot zoom in. Okay, I don't know if you can read. During the installation, it kind of checked the phase. So once it was failed and then it succeeded. But basically it's supposed to work. It might take a bit longer depending on the cluster and the resources which are available, but it's supposed to work. So now I will install the operator itself. So now the operator is installed. We can see that the OLM take it in account, and then we will see another line with the name GitLab Runner Operator eventually. Yes, GitLab Runner Controller Manager in the operator namespace. And the last command is just to check that everything is actually there. And you can see the operator, the version, and everything associated. So basically what we did right now is using the documentation available on GitLab docs and the operator app, we were able to install all the prerequisites and the operator itself. So now the second step will be to actually create an instance of runner, so it will be able to pick up job and to do everything that should be done. As it was written in the documentation, to be able to do that, we need a runner registration token, because we will have to create a secret which will be used to register to the runner, to the GitLab, gitlab.com or the the self-managed instance of GitLab. And we will also need a YAML to create the runner itself. As I was saying here, just using those two examples may leave some user confused because by default, we just said the GitLab URL, we said the runner, the registration token, and then if a user wants to do something particular, it doesn't really help him to know exactly how to do. So in addition to those five, I will also add a config map, which is actually used to help customize the configuration. Let's say that you want to add other Kubernetes executor configuration into your installation. We will make use of the config map for that. One of the links I did personally find useful is this one. The link is also on the slide I was sharing at the beginning. It's kind of describe the CRD, the custom resource definition, if I'm correct. So it's actually help us to know what are the properties which can be set when creating an instance of runner. So we can see we can set the Azure for everything cache related on Azure, the build image, the certification, the clone URL, and so on and so forth. The one we will be using is the config, which is actually used to give the name of the config map, which contains the config toml, which should be merged in the default config toml, the template used when we create an instance with the operator. On my side, I have some files already available. So one of them is, let me just show them. GitLab, not GitLab. So I have those three files right now on my side. So the first one is for the config toml. I will open it so we can see what is done inside. So basically what I've done here is I create another config toml where, let me see if I can zoom somehow. No. Can you read what is written? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting the termination grace period to 5. If I needed to set other configuration, the only thing I will have to do is yeah, I think this one. Yeah, if I wanted to set another property, another parameter, I would have just copied the CPU limit and copy it and paste it in the config map YAML. But for our example, it's the only one I'm setting right now. Then we have a runner secret, which is actually saving my registration token. And the last one will be the GitLab runner itself, where we actually create the instance. So what I do here is I set the GitLab URL to gitlab.com. For build image, I will be using Alpine. For the token, I'm telling him to take it from the secret, which is created too, and which has this name. For the configuration toml, I'm asking it to use the config map, which is created and which has this name, GitLab Runner config toml, and some tag and some environment variable. So basically, that being done, I can now go ahead and install a file GitLab Runner config toml. So the config map just been created, ctl line secret. Now I have the secret created, and I can check that everything has been. I that everything has been actually created. So I have my runner secret and the config map, and I have my config map here. So now I will move forward and install the instance of GitLab. So we will see it appear. So it is installing, yeah, in the default namespace because I've done nothing about it. And now when we go inside, we will wait for it to actually start. And we have everything running here. So we can go and SSH on the computer and check if the configuration has actually been updated. And we can see here that I have my termination grace period set to 5. By default is 3,600 an hour. So now we can see that it has been set to 5. And yeah, everything else is as it's supposed to be. One of the things now to create a job is to just go on the gitlab.com, I mean the instance which has been set, and to create a job and supposed to be picked up. On my side, as I was preparing, I had a tag queue. So I was like, why is not picking up? It's because my job are not set to use those tags. So the runner wasn't using it. But what we can do is I will uninstall, remove the tag, and do it without tag so we can see something going on. So I delete, I come back here, I just remove the tag, and then reinstall. Okay, so we have it here. So when I go back on open somewhere. When I go back to my project, my playground project, first we will be able to see that the instance is this one. The instance is still there. I mean, that was the previous one. I should remove as I uninstall it. But that is the new one I just created. And we can check EQE if we go back. Yes. Yes, I still have it. Okay. So EQEG, so it's this runner instance. And now I will go ahead and create and just launch one of the job I had on this project. So if I go into the log, receiving job playground base, so everything will go as planned, as that. So yeah, that's it about the installation on the runner. And yes, what we did is we used GKA. We used the documentation to install the runner operator. We then set a termination grace period to 5 seconds using a config map where the config kernel has been stored. And then we also made use of the CRD to know exactly which parameter we are able to set in our use case. So I don't know if you have some question I can try to answer based on what I know.
Actually, Romuald, that was quite clear and very succinct. Just wanted to clarify one thing. There's
Yes.
lots of documentation or lots of references to OpenShift, but this is about running our operator on a vanilla Kubernetes. This is not OpenShift.
Exactly.
So one thing we might actually want to fix in operatorhub.io under full documentation, it has a link specifically to install GitLab Runner on Red Hat OpenShift. So maybe we need to put that just to the top level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way end users aren't confused. If you look at the beginning of it, in the description, it does say in Kubernetes or OpenShift clusters, but
Yes.
yeah, I just want to make sure folks are not confused. And so the other thing, capability level, I notice autopilot is not checked, but that's talking about basically Kubernetes level auto scaling, right? And we're taking care of auto scaling within the runner executor itself. Is that right? The runner.
Yes. Yes. With a concurrent parameter, you can decide how many instances you want to spin, depending on how many jobs and so you are receiving. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. That was all.
Yeah, so I'm assuming as long as we are going to manage that ourselves within the Kubernetes executor, that we won't ever see this autopilot capability level checked within within Operator Hub. But that might change in the future, right?
Yeah, that might change in the future based on feedback, based on requests, and so, and also based on the direction, because the goal is to use more of the operator. So based on what we get, we will adjust what is needed.
Yeah. Well, this was excellent. Did you share the slides in the meeting invite?
No, actually, I kind of improvised with the slide to help myself, but I will add it.
Oh, they were great. Yeah, I thought they were great. So yeah, so, I was going to make sure I captured those links.
Yeah, perfect. I will add it also in the meeting, and yeah, I mean, I will make sure to have it available for everyone who actually wants to access it.
Nice, very nice. And I am now convinced to go ahead and install K9S. I've looked at it before, but I've never played with it. So that looked
honestly, I find it useful because me too, at the beginning, I wasn't really sure if I need it. And let's say I want to see the secret, instead of having to type I just have them here, but for sure, there's too many of them. If I want to see in the specific namespace, I just hit one, and it is supposed to filter. Yeah, so I can see my secret here. And same for config map. I just have to type config map. Config map. And yes, I have my config map. So I can go into it. It's kind of a bit slow, but yeah, I can go into it.
Nice, nice. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that installed and play with it. Very good. Are you running on the new M1 Mac?
Not the new one. I'm running.
Okay.
I haven't received it yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I haven't installed any of this on the new machine yet.
So
we'll see how that goes.
Thank you. I will stop the recording now and share the link and make sure that all the link about the slides, the video are made available and accessible.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you putting this together.
Thank you. And thank you for your question. Now I wonder how to stop the 1 second.
I believe